Yo, what is up, you guys? It is your boy, HamzaConnection, coming at you live, and welcome to the Journey Podcast. And today I want to share what? What with you guys? What do you think I want to share with you? So you guys, I want to give you a little update on my life and all of that stuff, and really try and be super transparent with you guys. So basically, lately I haven't been as purpose driven as I would like myself to be. I sort of like gotten into that spectrum where I was like, nah, I wasn't feeling inspired and all of that stuff. And I have progressed, but I don't feel like I have progressed as much. I feel like this past month basically has been a month where I have been almost forced to be looking inwardly. I've been doing quite intense fast. It's been Ramadan, so I've been doing fasting, but I've also had some challenging things when doing the fast because basically it's not like an intermittent fast; it's like a dry fast, and yeah, the hours has not been very well stacked because you can eat when the sun is down. And here, at least in Denmark, where I'm currently located, it's at like 9 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock, 30 minutes past nine, something like that, when the sun gets down. So it's been pretty late that I was able to eat, and then I will have to sleep. And obviously, I want my 8 to 9 hours of sleep because it's super important. I might make an episode about sleep actually at some point. So I have actually been feeling like not too energetic. That doesn't mean I haven't pushed through and I haven't done my things, but I haven't had the same energy, and it's been very like spiritual for me. Like I just want to share that. Like it's been very like a spiritual month for me because I've not had the same energy, and that means that I've been sort of forced to look inward. I've been sort of forced to look inward. Like sometimes I really had like my day when I was pushing it and all of that stuff. I was like, okay, I need to take a breather. And actually, when I took a breather and I started like feeling that I was tired, I I felt like this month forced me to be more in tune with my body. Because usually I just go, but now I'm more like, hey, I don't feel like this, I don't feel like that. And also like my addiction to certain things. Like for instance, like I want food, I want candy, I want this. I feel like I'm more in control now. I'm more in control now. And and I don't know if it has something to do with the Ramadan or the fact that you're not getting the sugars, so you do not get the sugar cravings, so you're not craving that much, or your body get like keto adapted, so you're more like in that fasted state. But I noticed that this fast really has a huge impact on me because it's been forcing me to look inward, and I've been noticing like things like change, literally like change in my body. Like for instance, like the addiction thing, that's the thing that changed. Like I noticed at the start, it was really hard to be like, hey, I'm not like, don't eat something unhealthy, don't eat this, because you would just be super hungry. But I noticed like after I pushed through that, I I'm like, hey, I'm seeing people eat like something that I would like to eat, but it does not have an effect on me. Like it does not really have an effect on me. Like I had a meeting, a business meeting, and and basically this business meeting was happening at like a burger place where we were supposed to eat like dinner, and then well actually it was lunch, not dinner, lunch, and then we would discuss some things and review like what we have accomplished and how we could have done it better. Basically, a retrospect or the uh, type of review. And they were eating burgers and they were eating milkshakes and all of this stuff, and it didn't really have an impact on me. But I remember if Oh, this is a funny story. Like the waiter saw that I didn't order anything, and I was fasting. So he was like, "Oh, we have a burger and spread. Do you want that burger?" And I was like, "Whoa!" He offered me like a free burger. So I was like, "Whoa, dude!" And I was like, "No, no, no, I'm fasting." I was like, "Oh, sorry about that," and all this stuff. He took it a lot. He took it way too serious compared to like me, like this fasting. He was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't offend you and stuff like that." But that's basically on a sidetrack. And the thing I wanted to tell you is like I I like burgers. I like burgers. I like milkshakes and all that stuff. But it didn't really faze me. It was like it didn't really matter that much. So it's like I separated myself from like the want. I separate myself from the want or the need. It's not like I needed it, but sometimes like when people like when you feeling hungry and you're like, oh, I could really use like a milkshake, and then you're craving it, and then you go ahead and you buy it and you mess up your diet. I feel like right now it's like if I go ahead and eat a cake, it's because I make a conscious decision that I want to eat the cake, and not because I succumb to my cravings. It's basically less of that. It's not totally perfect, but it's basically way less. I feel like I'm more conscious about my choices, and it's also easier to like pick the food. But once I start eating, I notice that then it's harder. So when you're in the fasted period, it's like you sort of let go of the bodily pleasures because you're basically fasting from food and water. So that stimulus is not provided, and because you're not provided that stimulus, it feels like you become less addicted to that stimulus, and in a way you become sort of way more grounded. I've also noticed that because in Ramadan you're not supposed to have sex, even though I've had it. But after the sunlight goes down, but it wasn't like as practical because after the sun goes down, then you can eat, and then I'm not really feeling like going ahead and banging my girl. So I'm like, I'd rather eat actually. Because yeah, and after eating, I'd rather like wind down and all of that stuff, or read something that will make me smarter, or just watch like some YouTube videos and stuff like that. But basically, like that kind of thing has made it so that I need it way less. Like sometimes I would be really like, oh, I really want it, but now it's like at some point, sometimes I'm like, I really need it, but now I just like I feel like okay, I really want it, but it's like a want, it's not a need, and I can control it. Like I would be just fine not doing it, and I would be just fine doing it. It's like it's like I'm free from the outcome. It's like I'm free of whether I get it or not, because this month has just been like with the fast, like you withdraw from all that dopamine spikes throughout the day that you would normally get with like food and stuff like that, and yeah, it's like but sex has probably been the hardest thing to abstain from and all of that stuff because you feel it, you really feel it, like you really feel like I don't know, maybe it's because of the testosterone that you sort of get like when you're fasting and all that stuff, hormones increases and stuff like that. It could be like that, that it's way harder to like abstain from sex. I don't know. But basically, I want to share this with you guys because abstaining from things on a longer period of time, and I'm not saying that, hey, go ahead and fast and all that stuff. I just want you guys to take the principle and not like the tool that I use. Yeah, you can use the tool if you like, but more the principle that with this story that I try to illustrate is like when you abstain from things, when you sort of like limit the outside like response of what you put in your body and all of that stuff, and you sort of limit the stimulus, you become less addicted to that stimulus. You become less addicted. And for me personally, this is just my personal experience. For me personally, it's easier to eliminate it all. Like either you go all in or you go all out. All in, all out. No, you know what I mean. Basically, like you do the same sort of thing. Like you go in and then you're like, I can't have any cake or you can have all the cake that you want. I basically prefer it to be like that, like basically like a binary switch. So it's easier. It's easy because if I can have some cake, when have I gotten too much? If I can have some of this, when have I gotten too much? So I like to basically be more strict. So I'm like, no sex, no sex. And then like I can have all the sex, I can have all the sex. But basically, and when I go to work, I go to work. And when I don't go to work, I don't go to work. I find that it's easier because being 95% there is way harder than being 100% there. And obviously, of course, I'm not trying to give you the picture that I am perfect and when I do something, I always do it 100%. Of course not. I'm not doing everything that I do 100%. No, not at all. Not even close to everything. But that's what I aspire to be, and that's what I found that it's easier to do something. It's easier to do something all the way than it is to do it like half of the way. So basically, those are the two lessons that this month have taught me, and in Ramadan, I basically become more. I basically have become less needy of the stimulus of food and sex, and I feel like more grounded. I feel like more in control. I feel more conscious. Like when I'm eating, when I'm doing stuff, when I'm making a decision. And also it has forced me to go more inward. So now I realize that I have these feelings and I have that feeling and I have this feeling and how this is affecting me. So going inward has actually been very healthy because that's also been a part that I've noticed that hey, I don't have that same spark. I don't have this and I don't have that. And that's by going inward. So that was something quite profound. So that's what I learned from Ramadan. I basically started the podcast with just telling you guys a story, so I hope you don't mind. But I'm gonna put a title on what I learned from Ramadan because then you don't. If you're not interested in that, then you can just skip the video. But if you are, and if you reach so far, then hit the like button and comment down below if, for instance, if you have learned something this month, or it doesn't have to be Ramadan, but it could be cool if it were Ramadan as well. But if you learned something this month, and hit the subscribe button if you want more content. So take care, you guys. Peace.